That's a good idea. Well, I just assumed that that would be a high turnover job, but you were telling me about the super low turnover, which I was shocked by, which speaks to all kinds of stuff, the environment, the culture you're building there, your leadership, you know, the pay, the benefits, it all wraps up together. Talk to me a little bit about that. I mean, what do you, you know, contribute to this low turnover? How are you doing that?
I think there's if you were to poll the staff on why they stay or
Yeah.
what makes
Yeah.
Avery special, I think you would get a very consistent thread around the word family.
Okay.
Um, there's a very tight knit group, and when people join, I think um, there's a very just family driven atmosphere, and I think people just really appreciate the level of awareness and appreciation, and we focus on it. We focus on just sharing that and making it a part of our day.
Mm.
So I think that's definitely a big driver, and I think that Avery as a company is, if you were to poll Avery's employees, the entire company, I think that that's a very similar cultural thread. Is there's this family feel, and so I think that's definitely a backbone to what keeps people here and people excited to want to continue working here.
Is the family feel, would you, to go a level deeper on that, is that things like, you're going out of your way to make sure you care about them as a person, not just an employee, and helping them through, is that example?
I think so. Yeah. Um, there's a lot of examples, especially over this last year. I mean, if somebody is in a rough spot or something's going on in their life, I mean, I think that especially on our side, I mean, I definitely I can speak to what we do, but we bend over to make sure that our team is in good shape, and if they need space, they need time, or whatever it is, we'll do whatever it takes to make sure that they're being taken care of.
That's really awesome. You know, I've told this story on a podcast before, but yeah, if you just go the extra mile to take care of the employees in times of need, you can lock them in for life. A lot of times, I went through a divorce too from my first wife, and I was in a very rough situation where I had just been divorced. My ex-wife had just left me, and I was living in Texas in this little tiny trailer house. Poor as shit. I didn't have any money, and my wife had took anything we did have, which wasn't much. And my boss at the time, he overheard somebody talking about my situation. And so he found out what my situation was. We were closing down a retail store. And the retail store, like a little small boutique retail store, it was a music retail store back when you had to go to brick and mortar store to buy music before downloading. Anyway, the back of the store had like a little break table, a little microwave, a little mini refrigerator, like where employees would go for break and stuff, and a couple of little chairs and stuff. He rented a U-Haul that day and drove it up to the facility and followed me home and gave me all that stuff for my little trailer house, because I didn't have any furniture. I mean, I had nothing.
Yeah.
And he helped, and he unloaded, and from that day on, I was like, okay, I will kill for this guy. Like, I will die for this guy. Like, I will never leave this guy, right? It's the little stuff like that, right? That if you just do for the employees at the right time, it really does mean a lot. And it means more than just how much they're making an hour, right? I mean, it really does. Did that come from Adam and you both, and just the entire leadership team? Has that been driven down from the top, that kind of atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, I think on the restaurant side, that's just, it's part of, I think, my nature, just growing up with my family, my family's restaurant. Yeah, my family worked there, but we had a lot of other people that weren't in my family that worked there for years, I mean, decades. And I think that probably my grandfather instilled that piece in me, and but Avery as a whole, I mean, we have a lot of people that have been working for Avery for 10 plus years, so it's definitely a cultural, I think it's just overall, it's a cultural fit, that I vibe with it, and I think it's definitely something that has been in place for a long time.
That's fantastic. What a wonderful atmosphere to be in. Plus, you get to be around beer, which is cool. Yeah. The Riderflex podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviews. Our show can be heard just about anywhere these days, but you can visit riderflex.com and click on the podcast page to hear all the previous episodes and learn more about the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Contact us at the email address info@riderflex.com or 888-964-5876. Thanks so much for listening, and if you enjoy our show, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes.